Welcome, everybody, to the Seattle Sports Union Podcast. My name is Abraham DeWeese. I'm back again with the RAM Rich Michelson, and we're talking Seattle Sounders. Rich, welcome back to the show. We're checking in because I hear there's a big match coming up.
There is a huge match coming up, Abe, and it's on Sunday at Lumen Field.
It is. I took a look. This is the Leagues Cup final, and tickets are $160, Rich, at minimum. Why is it so expensive? What's going on here?
Well, two reasons. One, probably because they think they can get away with it.
Okay.
Number two, I mean, it's a competition final. The idea, I think, what the big mucky mucks at MLS and the Mexican headquarters, Liga MX, wanted was a Mexican and an American team in the final. And that just didn't work out. All the Mexican teams got eliminated in the quarterfinals, and it was an all MLS semifinals with Miami and Orlando in the East, and Sounders and Galaxy in the West.
So now it's Miami and Seattle.
Yep.
And Messi. Is that what this is all about?
I mean,
Messi Mania?
I mean, part of the pricing is probably related to the fact that Messi is coming, and Messi and friends. I mean, you got Jordi Alba, you've got Sergio Busquets, you've got Luis Suarez. I mean, these are all teammates that he played with at Barcelona 10 years ago. They're all still very good at what they do.
World Cup participants, right?
What's that?
World Cup participants.
Yes. And for those that don't recall, Lionel Messi is the reigning captain of the world champion Argentinian football club. They won the World Cup in 2022.
And Miami also just came off a win in the Club World Cup, something that an American team hasn't done, right?
Yeah, they actually won a match, which had never been done by any American team, correct.
So this is big. This is a chance for the Sounders to maybe bounce back from that Club World Cup where they didn't put in any good performance whatsoever.
I'm going to push back on that, Abe. Okay. That is completely not the case.
Okay, because
the Sounders lost all three matches. That is a fact.
I went to the first one. It wasn't competitive.
I mean, the first one was not I will say that the Sounders did not look the best in the first one, and that's probably their worst game that they played at the Club World Cup. The problem was that they played Atletico Madrid and then Paris Saint-Germain, also known as PSG, who are the reigning European Champions League champions. So, arguably the best team in the world. Though I think they lost to Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken, in the Club World Cup final.
But your point is we didn't look as bad as the scores
we did not
indicated?
We did not get blown out. I mean, we lost 3-1 against Atletico. We lost 2-0 against
the Brazilian team.
The Brazilian team. I want to say Santos, but that might not be right.
That wasn't. Anyway,
I can probably tell you. Anyway, but and then we lost 2-0 against PSG. In fact, I'm looking here. It was Botafogo. That's who it was. 2-1 against Botafogo. So, not necessarily a great performance against them. Disappointing they didn't, get a win or a tie in any of the matches. But here's the thing, Abe. Since the Club World Cup, since the Sounders were complimented to a great degree, especially by the Atletico and the PSG players, especially all of them complimented Christian Roldan, up and down. The managers, the players, they all thought that he specifically played really, really great. And all the commentators basically said that Roldan played out of his mind in the World Cup, doing everything in the midfield, and effectively being the captain, even though he didn't wear the armband. That was usually Fry. But since then, the Sounders have played 14 matches. and they've won 12 and they've won 11. They've tied 2, and they've lost 1 match. Basically,
So,
since Club World Cup, they've lost 1 match, which was on the road at Minnesota, in the midst of this Leagues Cup run.
so what you're saying is that maybe that high-level international competition
Mm-hmm.
forced them to get it together and see uh, what am I trying to say? It's like they were forged in fire, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, it was a classic case of, the team was still kind of figuring itself out, especially how to use Jesus Ferreira
Ferreira.
and Albert Rusnak, who kind of want to play the same role to a certain degree, that playmaking and scoring midfielder slash forward slash winger. Like they both kind of want to play the same role, and they're still trying to figure out Pedro de la Vega, get him back up to fitness, figure out where to put him, and then how do you rotate all the other talent that you have on the field. You've got you've got a player like Paul Rothrock, who is not nearly as talented as the other gentleman I just mentioned, but who works his tail off every single game. He is, the Willie Bloomquist of the Sounders, if you will. Maybe that's an insult to Rothrock. He might be better than Bloomquist comparatively, but he's that type of try-hard player that every
Mm-hmm.
manager loves, right? The one that just runs and runs until they're just completely beat and out of all energy. They leave everything on the field. So, they had to figure out how to rotate guys, how to work through injuries. They had quite a few injuries at the beginning of the season, and then a stretch in the middle, which wasn't great.
So you're saying quietly, and I say quietly because the coverage has been kind of awful.
Mm-hmm.
Quietly, they went 11-2-1, and then
Yeah.
now they went 5-0, I believe, in the Leagues Cup.
Yes, they've won all the matches in the Leagues Cup. The one that they did not win outright was a 0-0 draw against Puebla last Wednesday.
Okay,
Not
but
yesterday, but the Wednesday before that. That went to a shootout, and that was a horrible soccer match to watch. Puebla did not play soccer. They played park the bus with 11 guys, packed, in a 22-yard space, and dare the Sounders to break them down.
and for those who aren't familiar, a lot of these competitions, you instead of playing like one game and take all, they're like 2 games, right?
And a lot
And
of competitions that they are double-legged, but this tournament
this was
specifically
not.
was not. No, these are all
Okay.
single. Once you get through group play, then it's all single elimination. One match and you're done. So,
Oh, okay. So it's more World Cup style then.
yes.
Okay.
And the Sounders' depth has really come through.
Yeah.
I
saw the.
to a great degree. And I'll just highlight a couple of things here, if you
I
don't
just want to
mind.
say, like, I've been really on Pedro de la Vega's case,
Mm-hmm.
but he came through against the Galaxy,
Yeah.
and so yeah, the depth is there. There's guys who hadn't done much for us starting to do stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's been an astounding thing in, I think, coaching in man management by
Mm-hmm.
uh
Schmetzer.
by Schmetzer, which, a lot of people are like, oh, he's not a very good tactician. He doesn't do a lot of things. He's all about just talking up his players and making them feel good about themselves. But really, quite frankly, as a manager or a coach, head coach, whatever, whatever the top man is in any sport that's coaching a team sport or even individual sport, your job is to help your players maximize their talent and their performance on match day
And does
when
this
it's
go into
go
that?
time.
Does this go into that depth management that you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, what he has done is I'm just looking here at the roster as I'm going down through it, and there's 2 names on here that I don't think I recognize because they haven't played, but everyone else, yeah, there's 2 guys on here I don't recognize. Oh no, sorry, a third one here that I don't recognize, that I haven't really played. If they have, it's not been significant enough for me to notice. But you've got like a guy that just signed a homegrown contract from our academy, Brunel, who has scored 2 goals already out of the midfield. He's 18 years old, and he contributes, not just contributes, but like looks like he belongs against grown men. And put in, a number of really good minutes, and then got his first start a couple of games ago, and did not look out of place, did not look like he was getting bullied or outworked or out-talented and out-technical. Like he just played really well.
So this kind of reminds us then of like a Jackson Reagan or an Obed Vargas.
Mm-hmm.
And is this atypical of MLS teams?
This is atypical, yes. There have been a couple of teams that have built this way over the years, primarily Dallas and New York Red Bulls have built this way, using, in essence, a farm system. To a lesser extent, Real Salt Lake built this way for a while, but it was it was a bit different. They didn't really have the full built-out, second team and academy. It was more that they found like the dregs of all these other leagues and kind of brought them in and then developed them in-house. So, whereas these guys have gone through academy games, they've played professional minutes. Most of these guys are coming to the Sounders with between 1,500 and 3,000 professional minutes. So that's like, I don't know, 18 to 20 games on the bottom end, up to about 30, 35 games on the high end. And for years, lots of these guys would come in, they'd be drafted out of college. They wouldn't really know how to be a professional. They wouldn't know how the professional game works, so the rhythm of that and stuff. So all these guys learn how to be professionals as teenagers.
And they'd be 20. Oh, sorry. I was going to say the ones that come out of college would be 23 years old. Mm-hmm. So they would have lost 4 years, right?
Yeah. I mean, they just didn't ever have that professional development. And I mean, you've got guys like this kid, Snyder Brunel, and Obed Vargas, Danny Leyva, Stuart Hawkins,
Jackson Reagan.
Kalani Kosarienzi, who is deputized at right back behind the other Roldan, not Christian, but Alex. Thank you. Gosh, having an old person moment there. Anyway, and he has come on and contributed a couple of goals, a few good assists, gotten a lot better at defense. Really helped. These guys have really stepped up. And what I think has been really great is that while we've had a whole bunch of young guys, this hasn't just been one of these things where you throw the young guys to the wolves. Every time that you put a young guy out there, there's almost always a veteran right next to them. So the other, the other night, in the MLS play, not last night when the Sounders won 2-0 against LA, but they went on the road to Sporting Kansas City. No, they were at home. Sorry, they were at home against Sporting Kansas City. But they started like 4 veterans, and the rest of the guys were young, basically, as the starting lineup. But on every level, they had a veteran. So the forward line had a veteran, the midfield had a veteran, the back line had a veteran, and then they had Stephen Fry starting at goalkeeper. So every line of the team had someone who was very experienced next to a youngster.
There's 23 men on the roster?
Mm-hmm. I think it's 25, actually.
25?
Yeah.
So do you think they have the 1 through 25 the most depth in MLS?
I think there's a pretty good argument for that. Yeah. Because we are functioning right now without 2 of our designated players. So the players that you can break the salary cap with Albert Rusnak is one, and Jordan Morris is the other. Neither one of them is they're both injured with fairly serious injuries. Jordan Morris has hardly played this year. I don't know, like maybe a quarter to a fifth of the games. He gets healthy and then he gets injured again. This time it's been a shoulder the last few weeks, and he's kind of questionable whether or not he'll make it back in time for the playoffs.
Wow. Okay.
But here's the thing: is that like I said, other than the very very bottom of the roster, just about everyone has played.
Interesting.
And so it's just really really been a deep roster, and we've gotten contributions.
Would you say at least it's been the deepest of Sounders?
I think this is the deepest Sounders roster ever, and in combination, also the overall highest average talent level. So, like, this is a dumb analogy, but if you're playing FIFA, right? Like the FIFA games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have your overall rating for your team, it's like a number, right? If you were comparing all these Sounders teams year over year, all the time, the average number this year would be the highest that they've ever been, probably by a significant margin. Just because the bottom of the roster and the middle of the roster are that much more talented and effective than the Sounders ever were. I think the Sounders were their most exciting that they've ever been 10 years ago, 11 years ago, 2014, 2015.
16,
when they had Obafemi Martins and
Clint Dempsey.
The Oba Deuce days when the two would just dance through defenses by themselves, right? That was super entertaining, but
not as deep of a team.
One or both of them were out. The Sounders kind of fell flat. They couldn't score. They couldn't do anything.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if we're taking a look in the Wayback Machine, this is the second appearance, I think, for the Sounders in the Leagues Cup. And they got to the finals a couple of years ago, and they're back in the finals this year. They would be the first MLS team if they could beat Inter Miami. They'd be the first MLS team to win every cup.
Other than the Club World Cup,
Other than Club World Cup, okay, but they would win. They would have won the most cups.
Yes, the most different cups. That's correct.
Yeah. So even if people don't value this one that much, just think about 2009 to 2025, the quantity of success at all levels that this team has had. And they'd have to be the premier soccer team in America.
I mean, I cannot remember a run like this in professional sports. I'm going to exclude college basketball and college football from that. That's a different argument for a different day. But,
and you might have to exclude basketball back in the 60s as well.
Okay, let's say modern
in
era,
our lifetime.
Modern era of professional sports. Whenever each of these leagues professionalized and got up to the level we're supposed to do it. There really hasn't been any team that has had a run like this in any professional sport, and the only one, at least in America. I'm not going to. I don't know enough about the soccer history in the rest of the world, but in America, the only team that I can think of that has had a run like this is the Atlanta Braves.
Okay.
They made their 16 or 17 playoffs in a row. They went to 3 or 4 World Series. They won a bunch of pennants. They won their division just about every year.
The Bulls don't count because it was such a short period of time.
I mean, the Bulls. So first of all, the Bulls went to the playoffs a bunch, but in basketball, going to the playoffs has a lot less meaning.
Yeah.
Second of all, the Bulls weren't really in a salary cap era. And they were two very different groups of players, right?
Yeah. I would say regardless, this is unique. And
it's unique.
Is rare.
And the reason I didn't include the Bulls in that is that their run didn't last long enough. It was 2-3 year windows and then collapse.
Yeah, they were terrible their entire history up until those handful of years, and they've been terrible ever since.
I mean, yeah, more or less, other than a couple of years where they had, a few good players.
But let's just, if we even just stick to the MLS, I think early on, didn't the Washington team dominate?
Yeah,
And
the DC
then that
United,
fizzled out.
yeah, they won 4 titles out of, I don't know, I think the first 6 years, but those are just league titles. They didn't win any Open Cups, I don't think.
Right.
Maybe 1 or 2, but anyway.
And they really haven't been a presence ever since.
Yeah, no, they kind of fell off and then haven't won anything since.
The Galaxy come in and out. They get strong, then they disappear, get strong again. But I mean, yeah, they're just, the dynasty is the Sounders.
I mean, yeah, the only other team that really has had any sort of consistency in winning multiple different titles in the recent times would be like Sporting Kansas City. I mean, LAFC gets all the pub. They've won 1 Supporters Shield. They've won 1 MLS Cup. No, 2 Supporters Shields, sorry, and 1 MLS Cup. And had nothing but like almost all the press, with Miami kind of being second fiddle right now, and Atlanta had like a flash in the pan where they were really good and got a lot of the press. The Sounders have structurally embraced the fact that Seattle is not the big markets that those other places are, and does not have the huge, incredibly wealthy, deep-pocketed and willing to spend billionaires that those other clubs are owned by.
Right.
They are functioning on a small market, with a small market mentality, at least in the fact that they feel like they have to hustle to compete, and that they had to build systems and infrastructure out, so they didn't just get blown away by money, because they realized, a few years into this project that, we can't just outspend everyone. We don't have the money for for a David Beckham, really. Like, even Clint Dempsey, they went and wrangled concessions from the whole league and got the league to pick up a bunch of his salary, because Dempsey only wanted to go to Seattle. And that was that. So,
well, so what do we do? I mean, not what do we do, but I mean, like, how does this work? The MLS obviously wants Inter Miami, LAFC, LA Galaxy, and they want all the stars from Europe to go there as retirement, for their retirement fund. But the Sounders keep staying relevant. I mean, how do they not want to promote homegrown? Or why? I guess my question is more why, not how. We know how.
I mean,
why won't they promote a team like the Sounders?
I mean,
why can't our own city promote it?
I mean, as far as our own city, I have had major issues with how the Sounders have run their business since they separated from the Seahawks from a business operation standpoint. For the first few years, the Sounders and the Seahawks shared a business office.
Yep, and they were the hottest ticket in town.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I mean, the Seahawks, since the Holmgren era, since Mike Holmgren came to Seattle, have been consistently the best business of all the sports franchises in Seattle. As far as how they operate as a business, the policies they have, how they treat the fans, their ability to generate revenue, they're just very, very professional. And I think the Sounders are pretty good, but they've really failed. They've fallen flat on their face to embrace other elements of the soccer community in a way that I think makes the most sense in the long run. And the way that makes the most sense in the long run to me is to get butts in the seats. And they've really failed in that regard.
Do you think the World Cup next year in Seattle could do something to reinvigorate, to boost?
I hope so.
Interest?
My concern is this. The World Cup tickets are incredibly expensive. It's just going to be a rich person playground.
And corporations and rich people are going to buy all the tickets. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I think the Sounders would be well served to have a whole section of the stadium, right? It could be crappy seats. I don't care, right? Like, kind of where you put your where you put the visiting fans, right?
Sure.
The crappiest seats.
Upper corner. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So do that again, but have $10 seats every game that are general admission, that you can't buy ahead of time. You have to go to the box office. Have designated student seats for people that are, in high school and junior high or elementary school for that matter, right? Like, have tickets for little kids to come and have them be just dirt cheap, $5, $10, right? Because they're going to remember that. They're going to love that game and they're going to want to come back again. And if they're resourceful enough, they'll figure out the bus routes and ride the bus down to the stadium if their parents will let them. I mean, like, when you get kids and other people to be passionate enough, they figure out a way to make things work. You just got to make it accessible to them in some way. And $45 or $50 average tickets to a Sounders match just doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And I'm really worried that the World Cup is going to blow it in a way that they didn't do in 94. In 94, there were tons of seats everywhere because a lot of these stadiums were so big because they're all, the big football stadiums, right? Like, you couldn't really fill 100,000 person stadiums very well. Like,
in that era, definitely.
No, not in that era. I mean, like, just it's hard. Okay, it's hard for USC to fill the Coliseum.
Yeah,
they can't do it.
All right, we're getting a little bit towards the end, so I want to refocus us back on the Leagues Cup because that's a big deal, and I don't feel like people quite get this. What is at stake here, or is just getting to the finals good enough?
No, I mean, I think that what is at stake is that I think Miami is going to be considered the favorite regardless.
Yeah.
Because Messi is impossible, because Messi is quite possibly the best sportsman at what he does in his sport. Possibly ever, certainly currently. I don't think there's anyone else that's better at their sport than he is at his. So you have the greatest player of this era, if not the greatest player of all time, or at least of the modern, last 50 years, playing. And that's always special. And you have some other fantastic players that have won World Cups, that have won, UEFA Champions League and Club World Cups and whatnot, that are playing. Okay, and the Sounders don't have anyone like that on their roster. So you've got your classic underdog thing, right? But it's at home for Seattle. So that's something to look forward to, right? But here's the thing. I think that this matters more to Seattle than it does to Miami.
Okay.
And my reasoning is Miami won this a couple of years ago already. Messi kind of just went on a tear. They'd had a horrible season and he couldn't save the regular season, but they were able to get into this tournament and just go on a run in the tournament and win it, right?
And so that gets back to my question about the Club World Cup.
Right.
So they've seen this level of talent, if not greater.
Yes.
As a team, as a team. That has got to benefit the Sounders, right? Having seen the best of the best out there.
Yeah, and the fact is that lots of the younger players, lots of the lower part of the roster saw action in the Club World Cup because they had to, because there were still a bunch of injuries for the team at that point. A lot of players that were not healthy. So I don't think the Sounders are going to be the least bit intimidated. Okay, here's the other thing that's really great, is that during this run since the Club World Cup, they've been shut out twice in that period of time. And the one time against Minnesota, 1-0, and then against Puebla, 0-0. And I'm just going to go through the scores here, the number of goals the Sounders have scored since the Club World Cup. 2, 1, 3, 3, 3, 2, 7, 2, 2, 4, 0, 0, 5, 2.
So they're scoring.
They're scoring. This was the problem earlier in the season, is the defense wasn't quite as good and the offense wasn't clicking at all. This offense is clicking, and this offense is clicking with players who are not even third string on the roster when everyone's healthy. My player to watch is Di Rosario, and I have a hard time with his first name. Osaze, I think Di Rosario. Yeah, Osaze.
Osaze. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that either.
Yeah, Osaze. His father is one of the top 10 players to ever play in Major League Soccer.
Okay, all
right. He is kind of been a revelation. He's come out of the second team. He's maybe a little bit of a late bloomer. He's 24 years old. He's 6'2". He's 179, like 179 pounds. So pretty big for a soccer player. Remember, most soccer players are about like 150.
Oh, okay.
Even if they're tall. Even if they're tall.
Is he academy system too?
Yeah, well, he came out of the. He's not our academy system. He's just like a signing onto the second team, kind of on a flyer, if you will. He's played around a bit.
Okay.
But if you want to know like what he's all about, if you want to give yourself a treat, go watch his goal from last night against LA.
I did see it. Yeah.
It's really good. Incredible piece of technical skill with his handling of the ball, but also a physical skill, how he just bullied the Los Angeles defenders and then outran them and then fooled the goalkeeper with some really slick finishing there. And that is why I'm so excited. He's the third or fourth striker on the team. He's going to start on Sunday against Miami.
What do you feel? How do you feel about that?
Big weakness is their defense. Their defense sucks, top to bottom. No one on that defense can defend. Nobody's interested in defending.
Well, they're there to sign autographs and make money. They're not there to stop anybody, right?
Right, and to give the ball to Messi, which they're pretty good at doing. But no one on that defense is interested in defending, and it's been Miami's issue for a long, long time. If the Sounders defense shows up, I think the Sounders have a pretty good chance of doing things. There's one hink in things is that Nuhu got a red card last night.
So does that would disqualify him from Sunday?
Yeah, he's out for Sunday.
Okay.
So probably it's Reed Baker Whiting who'll start at left back would be my guess.
Another young guy, right?
Another young guy, but he's been with the Sounders since 2021. He signed at 16 years old on the first team contract.
So he's at the old age of
20.
20, yeah. That's crazy. But he has probably more they used to call it caps, right?
Yeah.
He probably has more games under his belt than pretty much any other team's 20-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is really paying off. This is just a fun team to watch. I think they can go toe-to-toe with Miami. I don't think they're going to be intimidated. They've got the home crowd at their back. If people can, find some time on Sunday to go watch one of the greatest players to ever play the sport and can find a ticket, give it a shot. You're probably not going to see anything like it unless you score a ticket to the World Cup next year.
Yeah, and I want to say it's Apple Plus game. It's not going to be on regular TV.
I will be honest. I honestly don't know. Let me take a peek at the schedule. Maybe it has something there on it. I'm
trying to remember.
Look at that.
And anyway, yeah, it's. I know it's tough to find, but guys, go check it out because Messi's worth watching. It's again the Sounders. If it's a win for the Sounders, they have to be the greatest MLS team of all time, just winning all the different championships
Yeah,
possible.
yeah.
Like,
It will actually be on free TV if you
oh,
don't mind
nice.
watching it in Spanish.
Oh, where at? What channel?
Univision and 2DN, TUDN.
Nice.
So most folks
Univision.
should be able to get that over the air or on their cable package.
Yeah.
Which is not ideal, but it is what it is.
You can put the radio. You can put the radio on, listen to the local broadcast, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Or you can get a free trial of the MLS season pass. Give it a shot for a week and cancel it if you don't like it.
Cool. I think the prediction is Inter Miami is the heavy favorite.
Yeah.
What one thing do the Sounders have to do to win? What's your
they
key to
have
success?
To not be intimidated by Messi, and they have to not be lulled to sleep by Messi. I've been watching Messi constantly for the past 15 years. He will be a complete non-entity, non-factor, looking like the laziest SOB who's ever put on cleats, walking around the pitch, not doing anything. And then he will come alive for about 35 seconds and rip you to shreds.
He chooses his moments.
He picks his moments. He is incredibly smart and is also in incredible shape. He's 38 years old. At some point, he's going to wear out, but he has not worn out yet. And he has the strongest lower body I've ever seen on any professional player of any sport. Like, the guy cannot be knocked off his feet. So the Sounders need to not let him, it's this thing they used to say about Michael Jordan. You cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him.
You try to stop the rest of the team. Yeah.
You try to stop the rest of the team, and you try not to let them just go crazy, right? Like, Messi is at his best when he can be the facilitator and the scorer, when he can do both jobs.
Yeah.
You got to pick one for him to do. The other problem is he defies all statistical probability in soccer. So.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it just.
But your prediction is what?
I mean, I hate to be a homer here, but my prediction is that, like, the Sounders win in a close game 2-1, because I don't think the rest of the team, I don't think the rest of Miami's roster is good enough comparatively to, like, soccer is a weak link sport, and Miami's weak link is way, way weaker than Seattle's weak link.
Okay. That being the defense, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I hope you're right, and I'm going to hold you to it. Where can people find you on social media, Rich?
I am occasionally on what used to be Twitter at SSU _ Richard M. And I'm redeveloping a little more social media presence on Blue Sky. So
cool. So, just look for Richard Michelson.
Yeah, you got it.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank everybody out there for checking us out here on YouTube and on Spotify. My name is Abraham DeWeese on behalf of Richard the Ram Michelson. We'll see you guys next time.